Good evening, everyone. I welcome all of you for this wonderful dermatology webinar. Association for Veterinary Dermatology is committed to give knowledge in all the species, particularly in dermatology. We have got various aspects in various species. See, individually, each animal is having a different type of problem. Particularly in dermatology, say for example, in case of equine, you have insect bite hypersensitivity is a quite common problem all over India, even abroad. Still, we are finding difficulty in treating it. Like that, we have got very many interesting cases in equine also for dermatological issues. So we thought of going for this as a topic, and I also happily inform you that our all webinars are uploaded in our AVD YouTube channel. You can just go through that whenever you have time. And apart from that, I welcome Dr. Pothiappan, who is from young age itself, he is having interest in equines and he is practicing equine. And he is also did his masters in equine endoscopy. And now he is practicing. I welcome you, sir, for this wonderful seminar. And I request Dr. Nitin Patia from Intas Pharmaceuticals to introduce our speaker. Thank you. Voice.
Hello. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thank Dr. Nagraj for making my job easy by giving 50% introduction of the speaker. I welcome all the participants, the members of AVD, and all who are gathered out here to listen to Dr. Pothiappan. Dr. Pothiappan is a equine practitioner and a university professional at Chennai. So usually people associate him quite well with the equine sector, at least in the southern Tamil Nadu part. So he's well known in equines. He is a gold medalist, a national level equestrian event winner in New Delhi in 2004. He is a gold medalist for his MVSC from Chennai in 2009. He has got various awards from ISVM, especially in the segment of equine and pack animals. He has been given the Tanwas Best Rider Award for riding on the horses in 2003. Of course, I know him as more of a INTAS Clinical Case Competition Award winner in 2013, 14, 15, and 18, sometimes on his own caliber fully and sometimes guiding the students. So he has lots of awards to his credit. He has put in a lot of efforts into the equine. So he has till currently he's having 60 publications. So I will not stand in between you and him, and we'll hand over the stage to him for a elaborate session on equine dermatology. Over to Dr. Pothiappan.
Yeah, thank you, sir. First of all, I would like to thank AVD President Dr. Narasan and INTAS teams for providing me this opportunity. Slowly, now I am going to the session. Today, good evening to all participants. Today, I am here to present a topic on equine dermatological disorders, diagnostic and therapeutic approaches. Before going to the topic, equine dermatology is very, very important, and dermatological practice also is not so easy. It's quite challenging only because the skin is the largest body organ in the horses. It's almost around 12 to 24% of the body parts, and some of the common diseases, like even common disease is more common, like pet animal. So we have to identify one by one, then only we can go for correct diagnosis and treatment. There are several problems are there in dermatology. Only some of the important aspects, because it's very difficult to cover in all 1 hour, some important topics. So it's useful for practice. Today I will take. Then coming to the introductions, equine skin diseases, we can mainly classify it into 4 aspects. Mainly in first one is maybe due to infectious or non-infectious. In infectious concern, it may be due to any bacteria, that is quite common, that bacterial folliculitis like pyoderma, that are all quite common. Likewise, virus also, that papilloma virus, sarcoid virus, that are also common. Likewise, protozoal infection and any internal and external parasites, that also is common, that may cause skin problem to the horse. And otherwise like allergic, like insect bite hypersensitivity or any other immune mediated allergies, or due to some of the neoplastic arsins, that also may cause dermatological issues Likewise, endocrinology, some nutritional aspect. Feeding habit is very, very important. If is there any food allergy, atopic, and are quite common. Likewise, some of the iatrogenic damage, excessive usage of some of the steroids or some of the injections, that also may cause some of the problem. We will see one by one in detail. Some of the important aspects we will see. Before going to the dermatological problem, we should know the normal healthy condition of the skin. See, this is the normal condition of the skin. You can see the lustrous appearance of the skin. Mostly in summer, most lustrous. During winter, it's quite thick and sharp. The skin should be like this. The face should be like this. The body should be like this. Because the skin acts as the window of any internal damage or internal organ problem, it will show the symptoms in skin. The skin problem not only in primary organ, that may be due to secondary. The secondary may be due to some other problem in the internal diseases that will exhibit or show the signs in the dermatological lesions. So dermatological examination is a part of physical examination. That is very, very important. Any physical examination that should contain dermatological examination. Then only we can identify exact cause and root of origin of the disease. Before that, I want to some important variation is there among other domestic animals. Just simply some anatomy. Any skin problems, that any skin means it contains three layers, that epidermis, dermis, and subcutaneous. This is the common layer present in all animals. Likewise, in equine also is present. But the thickening of the skin when compared to the other cattle and dog, cattle is most thickest part of the skin. When compared to the cattle, horse is very, very thin skin and very smooth skin. That's why we are, while giving injection also, we should be very careful and very smooth we can give. Likewise, the cutaneous gland is much numerous, larger than other domestic animals. Because of that, sweating is more common. If excessive sweating, that may also cause for common dermatological problem. That cutaneous gland is much more in horses than other animals. Then coming to the diseases, the first most common disease is pyoderma. Like in dogs, horses also is most commonly affected. It's mainly affected due to Staphylococcus aureus and Staphylococcus intermedius. The Staphylococcus aureus is more common than other Corynebacteria and intermedius. So the lesion mostly initially it will start the pustules. Then pustules it will become rupture. Then it will form small crust-like round-like circular pattern. You can see these photos. See the crust. It's usually the alopecia is in circular pattern, and epidermal collarity also will be present. The circular pattern is covered with some thin scabs. This in like in dog only. And also one more other important aspect, for nutrition and animal husbandry practice, that should be very, very careful. Even poor nutrition or poor food habit may cause occurrence of pyoderma or recurrence of pyoderma is quite common. The food habit also is very important. That also may cause pyoderma. If the pyoderma is severe, like drunken form bacterial folliculitis, infected is severe, like contagious acini or contagious pustular dermatitis, that may occur due to poor grooming. The management of skin and grooming is very, very important in horses. So if poor grooming or warm wet weather or heavy work, that may cause severe bacterial infection. This contagious acini may occur due to not only in Staphylococcus, may also caused by Corynebacterium. Mostly this folliculitis occur the saddle area, because while saddling a lot of sweating will come, that may affect the saddle area, exactly in girth and withers area, particularly in summer, because of excessive sweating that may occlude in the hair, that may get infected with some staphylococcal or Corynebacterium. The staphylococcal folliculitis, the lesion is like this. Usually the crust in a circular type. You can see the crust. Usually it will small pustules, it will become then crust. Then slowly it will extend. Slowly it will be extended. The circular pattern will be there in staphylococcal folliculitis. Usually it will start only in the right side picture. You can see only start small area. Initially the small pustules, it will rupture. then it will spread in the slow area. If left untreated, it will slowly extended like this. It will whole body will be get affected. You can see almost all the body hair loss, alopecia will be there. It's mainly occur due to staphylococcal folliculitis. I have seen this most commonly in most of the predecessors can be seen this. Several losses in roadside horses or beach horses, no, it will have the same problem. This mainly occur due to staphylococcal folliculitis. Even stud farm and race course and also is common. In staphylococcal folliculitis, there will be a widespread and all over the body. The entire body is having alopecia and scaling. Usually, initially the affected animal have swollen and it will be very, very sensitive and painful. This is followed by mainly occur due to follicular rupture or pustular rupture. Then it will become crust. If you not give attention, then it will become deep pyoderma. That is deep pyoderma, it become followed by ulceration. That's after that is very difficult to treat. So initially, any acute cases we have to treat immediately. We have to concentrate on that. I have to treat immediately. If leave, then it will spread all over the body. Firstly, usually entire body, mostly neck and side of thorax and inner side of the thigh and pelvis, mostly affected. You have to immediate attention you have to give. Then only we can avoid further spreading of the disease. Then bacterial origin, one more other important, everywhere you can see most of the horses in stud farms or somewhere in roadside horses, we can see the Paston folliculitis. This is called Paston folliculitis. It will mostly affected adult animals, mostly the caudal portion. This is the fetlock joint followed by this Paston. Here is a huffin. This fetlock, below the fetlock joint, the Paston, mostly caudal part, mostly affected. This mainly occur due to Staphylococcus. Most of the us, if keep in wet conditions, or maybe in paddock is filled with this water, or during rainy season, or those animals keeping in stable with wet condition, definitely it will get affected with that Paston folliculitis. Initially, that like pyoderma, initially it will form papule and pustules. If in severe cases, it will become rupture and will form crusty lesion or ulceration. That is so painful. Mostly it affected adult animal. Diagnosis of pyoderma can be made by swab. We can remove the small pustule, then we can take the swab directly from the pus. Then we can go for microbiological examination. We can identify the staphylococcus. Once we identify, we can go for treatment. What treatment can be given for pyoderma? Previously, they have used trimethoprim sulfa orally. We can go for at the dose rate of 30 mg per kg once in 12 hours. If in acute cases, we can go for 2 weeks. If in chronic, we can go for 6 weeks. Nowadays, we can commonly use enrofloxacin. It's quite common and easy administration, easily available. So we can go for enrofloxacin at the dose rate of 5 mg per kg SID for 2 weeks. In case acute cases, only when part of the body is affected, so 2 weeks is sufficient. If it's chronic, it's become deep pyoderma, then we have to go for 4 to 6 weeks. Some of the articles they say we can use oxytetracycline also. This also will be effective 5 mg per kg once in a day. Likewise, ceftriaxone also can be used, very well can be used 2 to 4 mg per kg. That is SID. Along with antibiotic therapy, we have to topical application also is very, very important. If lesion is localized, we can apply some powder thoroughly, then clean. Then followed by we can apply mupirocin ointment or any 2% mupirocin ointment can be applied directly over the lesions, or silver sulfadiazine cream. That also very, very good effective. Likewise, we have to use topical shampoo also. Then if spread is all over the body, it's not able to apply the ointment, we can apply the shampoo, whether ethyl lactate shampoo or chlorhexidine shampoo. Veterinary chlorhexidine shampoos can be applied over the skin. We can give bath weekly once until recover. Then coming to the dermatophylosis. Dermatophylosis, this is also one of the bacteria caused by actinomycet bacteria dermatophilus convalescens. Caused by dermatophilus convalescens. This is not a fungal infection. This is a bacterial infection. This was presented to our MUC campus only. It's chronic hair loss and irritations. This occur mainly due to those animals who are keeping in moisture condition or carry an animal or any skin abrasions. The chronicle affected animal, the primary source of infection. The infection usually spread from the chronic affected animals. Mostly those animal is in much moist condition or during rainy season, much moist condition. This dermatophylosis is quite common, easily will get affected. This dermatophylosis may be possible mechanical transmission because it's so wet and excessive scabs all over the body. The mechanical transmission also possible by any flies or fomites. But in dermatophylosis concurrence, the normal healthy skin, usually normal healthy skin, it won't get affected. Some of the predisposing factor may decrease the resistance of the skin. So then only it will get affected. For example, if it's so moisture, that is the main cause of predisposing factor. So animal will get affected. Normal healthy skin, it won't get much affected. So if you are keep improper grooming or improper cleaning of the animal and keeping so wet in condition or rainy season, keep in rainy season, that may common cause for dermatophilus convalescences. The disease most commonly seen in winter months, mostly in a dorsal aspect. Only the dorsal aspect most commonly affected. We have seen the pictures. If you are keeping in wet pastures or wet stables, then lower part also may get affected. Just if you want to confirm, just remove the crust or attach hair over the body, that will become appears paint-press appearance. You can take your forceps and simply remove over the scabs. That appears paint-press. The under surface of the crust are usually concave, with the root of the hair protruding. You can just put a forceps and remove the hair. You can see the hair plugs. That appears usually paint-press appearance. Diagnosis can be done easily. You can take any swab crust or hair plug. Immediately, you can mix with a few drops of saline water in a glass slide. Then you can gram stain. You can see the rail cup track. This is the after gram staining. Just you examine in the microscope. It's take a hair plug and put it in cover slip or crust. You can thoroughly mince and keep it in glass slide. Put a cover slip. Then gram stain it. Then examine. You can see the railroad carving. If you have seen, means that's mainly due to dermatophylosis. Then what's the treatment for if animal affected severe dermatophylosis? We can apply topically the iodophos or lime sulfur. It's lime sulfur is available everywhere. We can dilute. We can apply all over the body. Antibiotic of choice, prochlorpenicillin G. That is very good effective at the dose rate of 22,000 mg per kg BID. Or we can go for sulfa trimethoprim also, 30 mg per kg for 7 days. So the disease occur mainly due to some moist origin or crust. So if any affected animal if you are seeing, you have to keep separately the grooming instrument like body press or anything. We have to use separately. The same should not be used to other animals also. That may spread the infection, and the falling that crust also should be properly disposed. Otherwise, that may also cause infection to the other animals. Then coming to the fungal infections, dermatophytes and malassezia. This is a common fungal infection in horse. Mostly it's caused by Trichophyton microsporum and among Trichophyton, that eucoenum and metacrophytes and verrucosum. That verrucosum is most commonly affected, and also this zoonotic, it may affect for us also. While treating, we should be very careful handling of the fungal infection cases. Most of the lesion usually start with axillary or girth region, then slowly it will spread in trunk, rump, neck, head and limbs. So this case, you can see the pictures, severe scaling. If any bad aroma means maybe local or focal alopecia will be there. Here you see fully spread severe scaling and alopecia, and dandruff also will be there. See this picture, you can see the circular alopecia and scaling outside, mainly due to Trichophyton. Usually this fungal also, the initial lesion may be urticarial like swelling. If in case urticaria, there won't be any alopecia, it won't be there. There won't be any hair loss. Only rising of the wheel, only rising of the skin will be there. Like this, no alopecia, it won't be there. Initially, the fungal also will start like this. Then it's progress to multifocal, sharply demarcated scaling and crusting areas. You can see this urticaria lesion caused by trichophyton. Circular lesions. If in case of urticaria, that normal swelling, any allergic swelling, that is, there won't be any hair loss, alopecia, it won't be there. Then this is a circular alopecia, mainly due to trichophyton. If those are handling the handler, if he has any itching or any lesion like this, circular lesions, we can suspect that case may be due to fungal allergy, mainly due to trichophyton verrucosomes. Because it's zoonotic, it affects us also. Then coming to the diagnosis of fungals, we can go for fungal. We can take the scraping of the crust or hairs or hair plucking. We can go for fungal culture, either using that STD agar, that Saber dextrose agar or dermatophyte test medium. We can isolate the dermatophytes. Biopsy, skin biopsy is not much useful in case of those animal having fungal infection. Here, this fungal culture is very, very important. We can go for fungal culture. Once you collect the skin scraping hair, then you can put it into the Saber dextrose agar, incubated 30 degrees centigrade for with 30% humidity. Then you can check the any fungal growth day by day. One day you can check any growth are there. And also we can do one easy method we can do for us also. Simply you can take one forceps, then just hair plug the hair, and we can examine. Put a drop of glycerins over the glass slide and put a one hairs and put a cover slip. Then directly you can examine under low power of microscope. See this shaft of the hair. This also shaft of the hair. Here you can see some of the hyphae. You can some like follicle like hyphae. Here is there means we can suspect the fungal infection. If normal hyphae, see here right side picture, there won't be any hyphae. The hair shaft and everything is in this medulla area is clearly visible. The outer cortex also is clearly visible. Here you can see some of the hyphae will be present near the medulla. So that means we can suspect fungal infections. And also one other important also can be seen. If just pluck the hair and examine, you can, this is the actually the first picture. This is the root of the hair. You can see the outer sheath cells, root sheath cells covering the hair. Means this is the normal. That is the anagon phase, growing phase. There won't be any infections. Here also some outer sheath covering the roots. But see this lower picture here, there won't be any outer root sheath cells. The root also bulb in shape. Here see there won't be any outer root cells. This is in a telegon phase, means the hair about to fall. It may be due to either infected. Definitely the hair fall may be due to infected. We can suspect if you collect simple hair plucking, then directly examine under low power. No instrument or nothing is needed. Just put a hair and directly you can examine whether the animal is having in anagon phase or telegon phase or maybe any other infections. Very well can be seen. Then coming to the treatment. Treatment concern lime sulfur. Lime sulfur is quite commonly can be used in even bacterial and fungal infection also. We can go for 1:1 dilution. We can apply all over the body. Like this, bleach also can be used 1:10 dilutions. If topical application also is very important. Either veterinary shampoos, same what we are using in dog also, which contain miconazole and ketoconazole also can be used. I have tried. It's quite effective also. So we can use miconazole or ketoconazole shampoo. Mostly the topical initially, if any initial cases, we can try with topical shampoos and lime sulfur. If not responding, if our condition persists, we can go for systematic therapy. Well, systematic therapy should be very careful. The dose also very careful. We can go for graciopulvins or etraconazole or fluconazole, or we can go for sodium iodide also. The graciopulvin means we can go for 100 mg per kg daily for 7 to 10 days. Alternately, we can go for 20% sodium iodide. That is 250 ml 500 kg cost and be given every 7 days. While using the graciofulvin and sodium iodide should be very careful. This teratogenics pregnant animal should not be used. For the any commonly we can use that fluconazole. The tablet also is available. Itraconazole also available. So commonly can be used. It's much effective in coccidioidomycosis and aspergillosis when compared to dermatophytosis. Usually we can go for dose at the dose rate of itraconazole and fluconazole is 2 to 5 mg per kg once in 12 hours. Then I am coming to the insect bite hypersensitivity. This is one of the quite common problem everywhere. Maybe this misdiagnosed, or maybe we may think for some other problem. So this is a common problem everywhere. You can see those animals you are keeping in group of animal. Definitely the insect bite hypersensitivity will be there. That is quite common. Mainly this insect bite hypersensitivity is the most common cause of equine seasonal pruritus. One of the most important point. This occur mostly only seasonal. There won't be continuously. It won't be there. Occurs seasonal pruritus. Mainly this occur due to culicates only. Because wherever the culicates will be there, definitely it will affect skin allergy to the horses. The reason not only in insect bite, this may be multifactorial, maybe due to gene or maybe histocompatibility complex, or maybe to environment. The proper disposal and disposal of dung is very, very important. We should not dispose near the area of the stables. We have to properly dispose. The environmental control is very, very important in case of equine insect bite hypersensitivity. Mostly it affects younger animal, less than 4 years old, most commonly affected. The clinical signs usually the pruritus, already said that seasonal pruritus will be there. And highly pruritic, even sometimes it won't respond to steroid also. That much pruritic will be there. Initially, the lesion will be a primary papules or wheels, mostly in dorsal and ventral distribution. The distribution of the lesion is mainly occur culicate bites. The individual culicate bites. Those maybe one animal may affect severely bite with the culicate. Some other animal maybe less number of insects may affect it. So based on biting of insects, the lesion will be distributed. The secondary lesion will be alopecia. Initially, if papule wheels, then if secondary means it will go to alopecia, severe crusting, that excoriation, hypopigmentation, and lichenification will be there because of constant irritation, chronic irritation. It's mostly initially affect the man and tail. So animal if severe pruritus, it may rub over the wall. So the man will become bruised up man appearance. The tail also rattle, complete loss of hairs and animal alopecic in mainly in man and tail region. Diagnosis based on history because of seasonally occurrence. We can based on history, thorough history. We can seasonal pruritus, that can be one of the important point, and distribution pattern. And and inspection of environment. Environment inspection is very, very important. Is there any pond or water or any culicate midges that may cause for important cause? Skin scraping we can take to rule out any other cause due to any mange or other causes. Then we can go for skin cytology also, or we can go for biopsy, skin punch biopsy. That will be useful to identify the insect bite hypersensitivity. The cytology may be useful for bacterial and fungal, to rule out the bacterial and fungal infections. Or even nowadays is culicate allergens also available. A specific culicate foreign is available. Culicate allergens. If you want to confirm, we can go for that intradermal allergic skin testing. So it's very, very useful to confirm the diagnosis. Or we can go for any ectoparasite trial. If is there severe culicate means we can try to control the flies. Once control, then automatically the infection will get decreased. This is some of the case studies. Those horses in Madras Veterinary College, R&D squad and NCC in Tanuas, they are having around 13 horses. All the horses affected with severe skin lesions. So this, you can see the first picture. There won't be any spready alopecia and hypopigmentation of the skin. Initially, the horse usually starts only in head region. Then chronically it become like this, spread all over the body. This also initially started with face region, then slowly it will extended, it spread all over the body. So here severe alopecia, face region, you can see the hypopigmentation and lichenification in the neck regions, in face regions. See severe hair loss and severe pruritic lesions in the neck regions and with the reasons. Mainly it's rubbing over the wall. That's one of the common cause. See, this is the tail region. See, tail constant rubbing and constant irritation, complete loss of hairs and alopecia in the tail regions. Here, these are also this OTA horses, army horses. We have taken pictures. So initially we thought this may be a mange, but mainly affected due to cuticle. See this, but while considering this this picture, see the right side picture. If those area affected only in hind part, then we have to take concern. Concentrate on that oxycuris uki. Here, what will happen in oxycuris uki? There won't be any much alopecia. Only this near the anal region most commonly affected, and there won't be any alopecia. Only damage of the hairs is much more commonly present. In case of insect bite hypersensitivity, severe alopecia will be there in tail, the base of the tail. Here you can see the base of the tail is not affected. Only this hind part near the anus is affected. Means we can suspect for oxycuris. This differential is very much important. Then initially we thought this case may be due to mange. Then we have collected this skin scraping and hair plucking to rule out any other cause. So that skin scraping is negative for ectoparasite. That skin scraping what we did, that is negative for ectoparasite. We have taken tape impression also, that is negative for yeast and cocci also. Then fungal culture also negative for aspergillus and dermatophylosis. Then we have taken skin biopsy. Then we have gone for histopathological examinations. And nearby the stable area is filled with full of tapenos and pubic acid. That was one the clue, we got it. Then we have gone for histopathological examination. It shows severe eosinophilic infiltrations. Is there severe eosinophilic means that may be due to any allergy. That allergy may be due to any insect bites or maybe due to internal parasites also. That histopathological examination shows eosinophilic and lymphocytic infiltrations and melanocyte increase. If we increase the melanocyte increase and the eosinophilic infiltration, mainly it indicates due to hypersensitivity of the culicoids. So this is one of the we can concur with other clinical signs. For example, culicoid wedges and distribution of lesion and history and presence of insects and histopathology. The case was diagnosed as insect bite hypersensitivity. While taking that insect bite hypersensitivity is very difficult to treat. We have to initially, if possible, we have to environmental control is very important. We have to immediately we can spray the any chemicals for mainly in permethrin or any other chemical to control the flies. We have to immediately control the flies first. Once you confirm the case may be due to culicoids, first we have to control the insects. Then only we can eradicate the disease. There won't be any much drug of choice. That specific drug is not available to control the insect bite hypersensitivity. We have to go for steroid also. Now our president Dr. Nagarajan sir, he tried actually. He has given some of input to treat the insect bite hypersensitivity. That is Agasa Karudan Kilangu. This is one of the Siddha medicine. Is available everywhere. This will be useful for any allergic conditions, any severe pruritus or any allergic due to any insects. This can be very well used. And some of the police gases we have tried. This we can remove the that kilangu, that we can the root remove that this outer covering area. Then we can daily around 100 gram daily can be given. We have tried in some of the 3-4 classes. It working very well. So it's regrowth of hair and the pruritus also is will be reduced. So it can be tried everyone by in case suspected for insect bite hypersensitivity. Then coming to the atopy. The atopy also is very important like dogs. The dogs also may get affected. It's mainly due to hypersensitivity disorder in which the horse becomes sensitized to inhale, maybe due to any inhale some of the allergens or percutaneously absorbed allergens. For example, in pollen, mold, dust, that also may cause, because horse is there means if we can give group of animal, definitely allergic problem will be there. So definitely animal will get affected. The allergens may be due to multifactorial origin. It may be due to any immunoglobulin or maybe any major histocompatibility complex or maybe due to any cytokine chemokines. The type 1 hypersensitivity is more common and play important role in allergic diseases. I already said that environmental allergen like mold, dust, pollen of grasses, weeds, the important cause for the IgE allergens. Other genes such as beta chain of the high affinity to the IgE receptor, mostly in mast cell and basophils. That also one of the common cause for atopy in horses. Then coming to the clinical signs, mainly pruritus with the secondary lesion, mostly like alopecia, excoriation, lichenification, and hypopigmentation. That is common in face, ear, and trunk region. And distal legs. Here, the distal legs is one of the presentation. Even legs also most commonly affected. Horse may develop secondary pyoderma, which is characterized by excessive scaling and epidermal collarity, like bacterial infections. Then coming to the diagnosis, if you suspected for atopy, we have to go for intradermal allergic test only. The specific allergen is available, we can go for intradermal allergic test. In India, it's not available, but it's foreign is quite commonly they are doing. And also other we can go for along with history, clinical signs, and other exclusion of other differential also can be done. Then only we can arrive to the diagnosis. If you want to go for intradermal allergic testing, initially your preparation of animal is very important. You have to withdraw the period of any steroids or any anti-inflammatory medications or essential fatty acid, antihistamines, or any topical steroids. Should be 2 weeks. You should not use any steroids or antihistamine for 2 weeks. Likewise, in steroids also should not use for 28 days. After that only we have to go for intradermal allergic testings. Then slowly the allergen are injected intradermally. Usually is grid mostly in neck region. You have to shave the area properly. Then you have to inject the allergens over the grid pattern. Then we can examine, assess 30 minutes and 4 hours after inoculation. Is there any allergic reactions? Reactions are compared with positive and negative control based on the size and rigidity of the wheels. In the swelling, we can examine based on positive and negative control. If you are suspected for allergies, not only in atopy, in common allergies more quite common in equine. It may be due to their insect bite or atopy, or any due to drug, or maybe due to food hypersensitivity. The treatment is, initial treatment is, we have to go for, if insect bite means, already I said, we have to go for environmental control. Or if not able to control this environment, we can change the location also. The environment can be changed if you're not able to control. And we have to minimize the dust exposure. That also is very important. And control of insects, insect spray and insecticide spray is very important. If you suspected for food hypersensitivity, we can go for food trial. Initially, we can go for 4 weeks food trial. Any novel protein can be introduced and can be given to the horses allergic process. Then we can go for feeding trial. Up to 4 to 6 weeks we can go. If responding, we can stick on with that. Then coming to the topical control, that already I said that control of insects is very important. Either we can go for permethrin or any insect growth for pyriproxyfen. That also can be used to treat the horse, mainly for Quillicard hypersensitivity. Or we can go for topical shampoos also for any colloidal based on condition. We can select the shampoo. Normally, colloidal oatmeal shampoos can be used. We can use with along with local anesthetic also. If in severe pruritus, if not responding, we can go for steroid also. If animal is affected with the excessive scale, severe dandruff or scaling means, we can go for sulfur or salicylic contained shampoos. If it's suspected for any fungal, we can go for antimicrobial shampoo. Bacterial means we can go for any benzyl peroxide, chlorhexidine, and imidazole shampoos. That can be used topically, can be applied. We can go for the weekly once bath. We can be given. The lime sulfur, that lime dip is is available, is easily available, so it's very effective. It's not only in ectoparasite activity, but also it's having wonderful effect, that anti-pruritic, anti-seborrheic, and antimicrobial effects. So this lime sulfur can be very well used if you're suspecting for infection. Or we can go for, is there any atopy or insect bite? We can go for allergic specific immunotherapy. It's available in foreign countries. Instead of, if not able to use chronic steroids, we can go for allergic specific immunotherapy. So very well can be used. Likewise, we can support with polyunsaturated fatty acids. So support with other medications. It's very good effective. There won't be cause any side effect for like diarrhea or any other problem. If long-standing uses of polyunsaturated fatty acid, there won't be any much side effect. So very well can be used along with other drugs. We can go for in atopy or hypersensitivity, long-standing use of steroids should be avoided. To alternate that, we can go for antihistamines. Very well, we can go for antihistamines. That is hydroxyl hydrochloride at the dose rate of 0.5 to 1 mg per kg once in 8 hours. Likewise, doxycycline hydrochloride, amitriptyline 1 to 2 mg per kg, chlorpheniramine maleate 0.2 mg per kg, that's quarter 24 hours. Then diphenylhydramine 0.7 to 1 mg quarter 24 hours. Then pyrilamine maleate, that also 1 mg per kg quarter 24 hours. These are all antihistamines, very well can be used to control the pruritus. There won't be any much side effect. If long-standing not able to pass to give the steroids, very well we can go for antihistamines. Along with this, we can supplement with essential fatty acid supplements. We can go for any higher dose also. There won't be any side effect. Very well can be used. We can try also that phosphodiesterase inhibitor, that is pentoxifylline. It's also very good effective to improve the wound healing and connective tissue disorders. And also it's a wonderful properties of immunomodulators. It inhibits the T and B cell activation and proliferation. So corticosteroids initially can be very well used. The prednisolone can be used at the dose rate of 0.5 to 1.5 mg per kg. If you want to use steroids, always you have to go for initially higher dose, then we have to taper the dose. We should not leave as such in same dose. Immediately we have to taper the dose. Initially for 2 weeks we can go for 0.5 to 1.5 mg and then taper into 0.2 to 0.5 mg once in 48 hours over 2 to 5 weeks. Initially you have to go for 2 weeks at the dose rate of 0.5 to 1.5. Then once in 48 hours we can go for 0.2 to 0.5 mg. Then coming to the some of the nodules, lungs and pumps. This also is quite common. This also may get affected in equine. Out of this, some important, so it's quite common disease. You see that nodules mostly in infectious agent. This nodules, sporotrichosis, that is yeast-caused disease. Sporotrichosis common, which present as nodular to ulcerative lymphatic clotting disease. Diagnosis can be done by skin biopsy only, or any immunofluorescent antibody, or impression smear, or culture can be taken. These also sporotrichosis. These also zoonotic. Should be handling is very important. So this, for example, this the picture shows. You can see the multiple ulcer and severe swelling only in the distal limbs. The edema also is there. Mainly is occur due to sporotrichosis. This sporotrichosis can be managed very well with any iodine preparation, or sodium iodide or potassium iodide, or we can go for the Tracaptylus ethylene diamine dihydroiodide. This is the Tracaptylus for sporotrichosis. This actually in feed additive. This can be mixed with feed at the dose range of 1 to 2 mg per kg twice daily for first 2 weeks. Then you can taper the dose at the dose rate of 0.5 to 1 mg once daily for remainder for the treatment. Initially, if we can go for 1 week. If responding well, so we can stop. If not responding, we can taper the dose and give. Then coming to the habronemias, this any granulomatous growth occur mainly due to habronema, deposition of eggs or larva due to musca larva. This summer, so most of them they have gone this disease. If you have suspected this, mostly it's occur in medial canthus male genitalia, third eyelid, and distal extremities. If you have suspected, we can go for ivermectin at the dose rate of 0.3 mg per kg, or we can go for moxidectin at the dose rate of 0.4 mg per kg. If is there any swelling or any systemic, we can go for along with prednisolone also. We can administer 1 mg per kg once daily for 2 weeks, then taper for 2 weeks period. We can topical any steroid application also can be applied. Then coming to the sarcoids, viral organ. So viral infection is quite common, like papillomavirus. Equine papillomavirus is quite common. Out of which sarcoid and equine papilloma is quite common. The sarcoid means locally is aggressive, is non-metastatic fibroblastic nodular lesions, mainly caused by papillomavirus. Maybe multiple lesions, not only in single organ, maybe multiple lesions may get involved. Usually only superficial skin, that flat, annular, slightly thickened, and hyperkeratotic and hyperrecommended. The sarcoids, several classifications are there, out of which superficial and nodular form and bifroblastic form is much more common. The nodular form might be seen everyone. This equine sarcoid, nodular form is much more common. Usually, is if nodular form, that is less than 6 cm in diameter and dry with horny surface with cauliflower-like appearance. I will show in pictures. Yeah, see here you can see that only in particular place focal lesions. See this cauliflower-like growth and in near the eye regions. Here near the neck regions. If you are once suspected, we can go for treatment either surgical excision or cryosurgery, or we can go for laser or radiotherapy, or we can go for immunotherapy also. Nowadays, recent articles I have gone through, they are saying that surgical excision is recurrence is more common. So after surgical, frequently occur at sites of previous injury and scarring. So while if you do the surgery also, again recurrence of sarcoids is quite common. Then coming to the equine papillomatosis, the equine papillomatosis is also caused by papillomavirus. This most commonly affected less than 4 years age. This one of the case studies they have done. This one of the my colleague is working in stud farm. He shared his experience, Dr. Balamurugan. Those animal, one group of animal around 8 to 10 months, filly and colt, around less than 2 years of age, fully affected with papilloma. See, you can see only in lower eye regions, and near the nose and upper lip also. See here, this is the discoloration, that is the papilloma growth. Not only in eye and nose, and also affected severely in near the coronal region. It's full of papilloma growth, and also it's the horse is affected with the severe maggot also. Because of this, secondary affected maggot also. He had tried actually what is treatment. Even this is the before treatment. You can see the picture. This is the same picture after 6 weeks after treatment. What treatment has given? So our normal the autologous what we have tried mostly in cattle and all we used to try, that is 20 ml of autologous blood. The same animal blood was collected and immediately given intramuscularly at 2 weeks interval. Once in 2 weeks, 20 ml of blood was collected, then injected intramuscularly. Totally 3 doses were given. After third treatment, papilloma disappeared completely. This we tried in 6 or 8 horses. This is the recovered horses. Already shown this picture. After treatment, along with this autologous blood, we have applied Thuja ointment also. We have applied Thuja ointment. Then it's completely recovered. So everyone can be tried well. Then coming to the urticaria, this is common allergy conditions. Common allergy condition in horses. Of all domestic animals, horse was much greater instance. The urticaria is more, because already I said the horse skin is very thin and very sensitive to any insect bite or any other bite, any allergic is quite sensitive. So it's quite common. Urticarial eruption is quite common in equine. It's mainly occur due to a result of mast cell and basophil degranulation in response to either any immunogenic or non-immunogenic stimulus. This is the common cause for urticarial eruption. Mostly the urticarial eruptions occur very acutely or very acutely within minutes, maybe due to any insect bite or any some other exposure of allergen. Some of the inciting factor may cause for urticaria. It's mostly occur very acutely. Here is pruritus is maybe less or too high also, but the skin overlying skin is normal, and there will be any alopecia. If it's in case of fungal or any bacterial, definitely alopecia will be there. In case of allergic, there won't be any alopecia. Lesions vary in shape and size and may be present papular, annular, or it may be bigger one or wheels. Mainly occur due to any insect arthropod, or maybe due to parasites also, or maybe due to semi-heterogenic causes, any topical applications or any systemic medicaments. This is quite common in the stud farm model. Every day we used to get the cases that urticarial eruptions. This is also some of the stud farm that Balamurugan shared these details. See, you can see all over the one day night the animal was quite normal. By the second day morning, immediately see severe allergic swelling all over the body. These focal urticarial eruptions. What we can do if is there any urticarial swelling or allergy? What we can do? We can go for epinephrine or any adrenaline injection also can be given at the dose rate 3 to 5 ml. We can go for once in under dilution, subcutaneous or IM, or we can go for hydroxyl hydrochloride at the dose rate of 1 to 1.5 mg per kg once in 8 hours, or we can go for diphenhydramine at the dose rate of 1 mg per kg quarter 12 hours, or we can go for antihistamines like chlorpheniramine maleate or phenhydramine maleate can be given at the dose rate of 0.2 mg per kg once in 12 hours. We can go along with antihistamine. We can go for steroid also. It's initially not to go for weekly and if we can give 1 or 2 days. If animal is responding, we can stop the dose. If not responding, we can go for 2 weeks. Then we have to taper the dose. Even dexamethasone also can be given along with antihistamines. But while giving prednisone, no need to give dexamethasone. Either we can go prednisone antihistamine combination or dexamethasone antihistamine combinations. If dexamethasone, we can go for 0.02 to 0.1 mg per kg per day IV for 2 to 3 days. So we can oral maintenance dose also. We can go for 0.01 to 0.0 mg. Then coming to the another one important cause, pemphigus. This autoimmune disease occur. It's like a dog. Horse also may get affected. Mainly is caused by pemphigus foliaceus. Mostly this pemphigus means the classical clinical finding vesicles and pustules are rarely noted in the horse because lesion of pemphigus progress rapidly to crust. There won't be any pustules or vesicles. The lesions progressively rapid to crust and exfoliation, erosion, alopecia, and scaling. There won't be any pustules. Won't be there in pemphigus. Diagnosis can based on history and clinical finding only. We can go for skin cytology. While treating the pemphigus, this looking like fungal infection. Focal early lesion of pemphigus foliaceus can be easily mistaken by dermatophytosis because the dermatophytosis also is focal circular lesion will be there. So we have to take the sample. Then if fungal culture is very easy, so we have to take the sample. Then we have to examine. If negative for fungal, we can suspect for pemphigus foliaceus. The circular crusty lesion over the whole body. But this confirmation can be done in case suspected for pemphigus, we can go for skin biopsy. So always we have to don't think this any circular lesion that may be due to dermatophylosis, fungal. This may be happen due to pemphigus also. See the lesions. If you are suspecting for pemphigus immune-mediated disease, we can go for the best one is skin biopsy. Then only we can come the specific diagnosis. And we can rule out the other possible causes, and we can monitor the course of the disease also, or after useful to confirm the completeness of the surgical excision of tumors. We can go for a biopsy. We can check. Then we can, if pemphigus means, we can go for treatment. Either we can support with essential fatty acids or vitamin E. at the dose rate of 13 international unit per kg, we can go. We have to decrease exposure to the sun area, because then any photosensitization should be avoided. We can go for pentoxybylline at the dose rate of 8 to 10 mg per kg, 2 to 3 times per day. Then taper after steroid can be minimized. If you are suspecting pemphigus, we have to go for steroids only. Either we can go for dexamethasone at the dose rate of 0.02 to 0.1 mg per kg, either per oral or IV for 10 days. Then you have to taper. Once we started steroids, definitely we have to go for tapering dose. Then only it won't get affect the animal. Or we can go for azithromycin also, either prednisolone or dexamethasone, or azithromycin. That is common level what we are using in dog also. Same can be used at the dose rate of 2 to 3 mg per kg, once in quarters, 24 hours. Per oral for 3 to 4 weeks, and slowly you have to taper every other day. Then I would like to summarize the dermatological disease. That while treating the dermatological disease, that frequent examinations are often required, because it is sometimes difficult to establish the primary condition. Because while treating, we have to keep on examining regular interval, with weekly once or after treatment. We have to follow up is very, very important. Then only we can identify. Maybe we think maybe this is the bacterial, but the animal may affect with the fungal or some other organ. If not responding, it's very difficult to. If one's later stage, it's very difficult to treat. So frequent examination is very, very important. The approach to the dermatological case requires logical and clinical investigation. We may think this may be a fungal, but that may affect it with some other reason. So always the diagnosis with the clinical investigation is very, very important. We can concur with along with the history and clinical examinations. Diagnostic cells should be carefully selected to rule out or confirm the suspected diagnosis. If simple test, any trichogram or hair plucking or fungal culture can be easily done, that should be done. Then after that only we have to go for treatment. Then only we can achieve the cases. By proceeding in a systemic or stepwise manner, dermatological problem can be treated successfully. If you are going in correct way, if once diagnosed, always you have to go for diagnosis. Once you diagnose, treatment is very, very easy. We have to go for stepwise procedure. Either first you have to diagnose the case, then slowly you have to go for treatment. Then only we can succeed the case. This picture you can see accidentally that 3 weeks ago I have taken in Madras Veterinary College campus. See, you can see some of the crow is fighting the wounds. So this also should be controlled. What we are treating, we should be concentrate on this also. This chronic case, chronic wound in wither regions. We have treated, but it's not at all responding. So this also one of the causes. Already I said the environmental control is very, very important. We have to concentrate at this also. If keep on constant irritation and poking over the skin wound, definitely it won't get cured. So we have to be careful all aspects. Thank you all. You can, this picture simply I put, you can send a message. What may be your diagnosis? See the picture here in neck region is related to dermatology. We can post your diagnosis. This is the last slide. This is some of the one of the my colleague, Dr. Sendila, he shared his this picture. What may be your diagnosis? Simply post. Thank you one and all for watching.
Thank you, Dr. Potiyappan, for taking us on a marathon equestrian race into canine dermatology.
Yes. I think I finished within the time.
Yeah. You are a good rider, so you know how to finish it.
Okay, sir. Yes.
How do you find treating papillomas in horses and cattle? Is there a difference, or it is the same?
Yes,
one of the queries.
Same only that. But any that in equine concern, I explained that autologous blood is very good, effective. I tried in equine. For cattle also we can try the same Tuja ointment we are applying in dog also, cattle also. We can try same in cattle also. The virus is almost same.
Right, sir. Any recommendations for veterinarians? Especially, there are two types of veterinarians. Number one is who is taking a working animal.
Yeah,
Another is who is taking a racing animal.
yeah,
So,
yes,
what is the difference between the two in terms of treating the two
yeah.
and how they can make it better?
Yes, a lot of differences there in working and this ecosystem. Even then, race course and Satcom and all, they used to concentrate much on horses. Definitely, the management and food practice and everything is same, and they are very much interested and very keen. Observation will be there. But in working animal, all kind of that food habit or environmental or management is very poor. So most of the aspects what I discuss is mostly in field only. Most of the problem occur due to poor management. Harsh means the management is very important. If is there poor management, definitely due to infection or any dermatology use, definitely will come.
I've heard that mares usually calve in the night or parturiate in the night.
Yeah,
So
yes, yes.
is it very true? Is it fully there?
Yeah,
Or?
that is polling, sir. Polling means is we define that is quite common during night time because the horse no it's very calm environment. Only polling will be occur. 90% of the delivery it's placed in during night only. In start farm, I also worked in 2 3 years, couple of years. That is seasonally polling. Once in the 6 month period only the polling will be there. We have to night fully. We have to watch. 90% night only will be occur.
Sir, I think that brings us to the end. Your session was too elaborative to have minimum questions. So we thank you on behalf of AVD. I thank you for being there on behalf of AVD, all the members, the president, and all the members of the veterinary fraternity. We are thankful for you for being there, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes, sir. I would like to thank you also, sir. You also have taken much effort, and our president, Dr. Nagarajan, also has taken much effort. Thank you, AVD and Intas, for providing me this opportunity. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.